Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, of course. Want to go ahead and see what's going on here. So traditional markets are down and Bitcoin is up. We've had this unique inverse pairing recently, and it's fairly odd, but makes sense considering the circumstances. Because again, we had some FUD earlier in the week, and of course, one of those things where it just kind of sent Bitcoin in a different direction, where traditional markets were doing well, at least going sideways for the most part, right? Nowadays, that's going well, but when it comes to Bitcoin, it's doing good here today, up 2%, retested that level of 24,000. So what we want to do is kind of just see what that looks like, because traditional markets are not really going to be a barometer for how well the market is going to do. While we did open up and kind of have this unique candle wick pattern here, we're starting to see a lot of support at the 23,500 mark. And as I mentioned yesterday, a closure above that level would be fantastic, so hoping we can get something like that here today. But this range between 23,200 and 24,000, or roughly 23,600 more importantly, is still holding in place. Okay, so until we can break above or below that, we can expect the price to kind of go sideways there for a little while. Fairly range bound, but it does look like we're trying to break free and get back up to that 24,000 mark. I think that's possible. Okay, so let's look at the smaller time frames to kind of see what's going on. Also, too, if you're new to the channel, just want you to know that I've got some amazing traders here in my community. Feel free to join. It's really awesome to kind of help learn and grow with you. And I've got some awesome traders here. Take a look at this here. We got some shorts from IMX, REN, and Adam, of course, here from Alexandria. One of my admins, of course. We can also see Zach is killing it here with 125x. He's got some he's got some britches, that's for sure. Something that kind of helps him I don't know why, but 125x, it just scares the bejesus out of me. So good job on that. Keep in mind he's using a small position size. Do not recommend that at all. Anyone starting off with leverage trading, 5 to 10x max, okay? We use 20x in our community because I've been trading for a very long time and I'm kind of familiar with how things work. You're getting your feet wet, you got to get used to it, okay? So again, keep up the great work, everyone. Compos is also a fantastic trader here. Definitely a consideration for our member of the month. So again, really cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out. CryptoCash.tech is where you can go to register. Also got a bunch of sponsors, of course, that help us community-wise to make sure that we're all becoming better traders, because these exchanges all serve a specific purpose, right? When it comes to BitGet, they have a trading competition every month. When it comes to, what is it here? We're looking at Bybit. They have fantastic deposit rewards and future competitions coming, but they link directly to my Cornix. So all the signals that are sent, which we have a free trial, by the way, is provided through Bybit. And of course, Mexi Global is awesome for US residents that do not require a VPN. Okay, so really cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out. Obviously, that's all on my website. For right now, though, what we want to look at is this current price point. Okay, so 23,200, 23,600. Little $400 range we've been kind of stuck within for a little while. Now we can see the strong support level here at 23,002. Okay, that was a previous resistance level, but currently a Fibonacci retracement level. Coincidentally, 0.618. That is one of the strongest Fibonacci retracement levels you could ask for, or you notice the most consistent. 1.618 is also equally as strong. That being said, when we look at that, we can kind of understand here that that is holding as a strong support level. We've had about 5 or 6 candlestick closures at that level or higher in the last week. Awesome stuff. We're also staying above 50 on the RSI, which is extremely important. It gives us momentum here, telling us that we are still on the right side of the tracks. I don't want to use the word bullish by any stretch, because that is not what we're at, but we are on the bullish side of the RSI in the last 14 days. Because again, the RSI takes a look at the last 14 days and tells us the average interest, either above or below a specific point. And 50 is kind of the average here. And to be above that tells us we're still bullish in the last 2 weeks of trading. That's a good sign, okay? Same thing with the MACD here. It's starting to dissipate, which is positive here as well, kind of giving us the inclination we might see a convergence on the horizon. Furthermore, we look at the simple moving averages, and we're still above the 50-day SMA, okay? So again, staying above that would be super helpful, super important. Ideally, the price continues to progress upwards with it. If we lose that, we still have the 200, of course, down here at the 20,000 range, but we'll bridge that gap later if we decide, or Bitcoin rather, decides it wants to go ahead and continue in that direction. Take a look at the 4-hour. We can see a similar scenario here. We're up over 50 on the RSI. MACD is converging. We got that little bounce here, essentially. And then, furthermore, we're above all 3 moving averages for the moment. Okay. Now I say for the moment because it's tentative, of course. Everything in trading is tentative, but the 4-hour is kind of a transitionary time frame here. So if we have a lot of contributing factors on the 4-hour time frame, and that communicates directly to the 1 day eventually, then that's essentially what we're looking for, right? So more positivity on the 4-hour will tell us the one day is going to essentially become better, okay? And the more days we can have consistent above 50 on the RSI, the better off we're going to be, okay? It's that sweet spot between 50 and 70 on the RSI that I love to see. So taking a look here at the 1 hour, we can kind of see that there was probably an overextension previously. We hit a 9 here on TD sequential, and we're coming back down now. So we're down to a 5. There is potential for another 4 more hours of continuation of the downside. While that's never 100% fact, it is very common for the price to kind of fulfill that range, somewhere between 6 to 12 hours. We're about there where we could see the price recover. But good news is we have a Fibonacci retracement level here at about 23,650. If we hold above that, we close above that here today, we're going to be in really good shape. Honestly, a closure above the 23.5 mark is really important to me. So hopefully we can close above 23.5 today. You can see a strong amount of resistance at that level, the new potential support, and that helps us understand that we're, once again, on the right side of the track. So for the most part, let's go ahead and do one last look here, and we'll go ahead and summarize. We can see, of course, this being fairly range-bound activity. Being above the cloud, it doesn't matter a tremendous amount, but it's still very positive. Okay, so just telling us the overall momentum is going to stay here. So ideally, we stay above this level here, which coincidentally is 23,500, and we bounce off of that cloud, the upper and lower lead. So again, just to clarify with the Ichimoku cloud, when you're range-bound, it gives a lot of false positives. It has to be, it's more so on larger swings that this is beneficial. So in this sense here, being above that, that's nice. But what we can disseminate from what we've seen here so far is that every time frame has more positive contributing factors than negative, therefore telling us that a long position would be much more viable than a short at this time. Not specifically saying you want a short or long, honestly, because we don't have confirmation above a specific level. I think 23.5, a closure above that would be great. We're not there yet. Once again, markets haven't closed, so we just kind of need to be patient and wait and see. But for the most part, I would say longs should prevail here at this point, more so than shorts, okay? Once again, just kind of how it looks and how it feels with all the time frames combined. And once again, when you are trading and you're using technical analysis, you're really just trying to extract specific information from the charts and at different time frames, kind of gathering a case, right? So like, say you're like, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but imagine like being in a courtroom and you have lawyers going back and forth. They're building a case for their defendant or the other, right? In this case here, we've built a case here letting us know that we're slightly more likely to continue up than we are down. And that's really all technical analysis is. It's just statistical probability. So if I'm going to throw a number out here, I would say 70% probability of upside versus 30% down. Now, how long that upside lasts is hard to say. We don't know specifically. But we have acknowledged previously that we have a lot of liquidation levels at the 24,000 price point, as well as 23,200. So with us being right in that range, if we're to wick above or below, we're going to see a massive short squeeze or even a long squeeze. Those things can occur. And we can actually see roughly that we're going to be hitting a pretty large price point. We can also see here as well the most amount of open interest positions here is currently right at the current price point at 23,600. So honestly, we're right in that middle ground where anything could happen. But for the most part, it does make more sense that the hourly and the 4-hour are going to continue to push in the upward direction and give us that confirmation. Just seems probable. Again, that's all we're looking at here, statistical probability, and hopefully you found benefit in understanding what I'm trying to communicate. Just keep watching my videos. You'll figure it out eventually, honestly. And you want to become a better trader, we do have an education section within our current trading community. Be sure to reference that. All my premium members have access to that. We also have signals that, you have a free signals for a week if you'd like. But honestly, at this point, no trade is good trade until we get where we need to go. But it does feel like we're right on the precipice of a next significant increase. And I do feel like we're going to see a push to 24K, perhaps even further. Okay. All right. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one.